Hello, and welcome to Ben and Mike's Film Room. And today we are looking at the 2008 Incredible Hulk film.
Wow. I have to say, I actually had never watched the whole movie. I thought I had, but I only watched, like, the first half of it, or that's all I remember anyway. So it was actually pretty, it wasn't what I expected at every turn. It was interesting.
Yeah, now I remember when I first got the DVD of this, and I watched it, and I remember. This is not how I feel now, let me clarify. When I saw it for that time, I thought it was as good as the first Iron Man.
When was this?
This was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a
4 or
long.
5 years ago, you thought The Incredible Hulk
Hey, I was
was
15.
as good. Okay.
I was 15 or
just saying.
14.
I mean, and you had just started collecting DVDs and stuff, right?
It was more.
Or was that a little earlier?
Well, when I started getting into movies, that was more when I got my job.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
But still. Okay, so over time that has changed.
yeah, and I like this is very much the redheaded stepchild of the MCU because it was produced. It had the Universal logo on it, which makes it a Universal film.
And a lot of times I personally get this mixed up with the movie The Hulk or Hulk.
It is called Hulk.
Okay, and
Which
who was
is
that again? What was the
Ang Lee.
Ang Lee's Hulk, not the Hulk.
Nope.
Hulk.
No.
I kind of always bundled them together as both of them being terrible. Was Ang Lee?
Yes.
Okay, was
That-
Ang
that-
Lee's Hulk
that's what-
also Orlando?
Or
Nope, that's not right.
Orlando Bloom? Who?
Universal.
Probably. I would think so. I can't remember. But the weird thing is, before the first Avengers came out, I already had like some of the first few Marvel movies, but I didn't have the Hulk. Now, we bought a Hulk movie at the time, me thinking that it was the right one. It being actually Ang Lee's Hulk, which we still have on Blu-ray downstairs.
That must have been one of our first Blu-rays then.
No, I remember our first Blu-ray. It was Avatar.
The Last Airbender or the blue one?
The blue cat
That's
men
so much
and
more
ladies.
reasonable. Okay, go
Yes, not Last Airbender.
on. Well, you say Avatar. Anyway,
Okay. Can they even hear you from over there?
this is my new reclined pose. I feel like
He's.
Dionysus, bring me grapes.
If you can't tell by the sounds of our voices, we are sitting on the floor.
I don't know how they could tell
That's
our
the point.
floor talk.
That was the point.
Welcome to the Ben and
I'm
Mike's
making
floor talk.
I was making a visual joke
Visual
about.
sound.
Yes, they can use their earballs. Anyway, instead of eyeballs.
It's like an earlobe, but
Staying on target. What was I talking about? Oh, yes.
you'd watched. I'm up. You'd watched Ang Lee's The Hulk, thinking it was the one in
Yeah.
the Marvel universe.
Yes, and like even when I was watching it, even then that was like when I was 11 or 12. So I still had no idea, honestly, what the MCU even really was. Because
And how far along was it in the phases at that point? Like, it had to be still phase one, maybe.
oh, it was before, like this was like just before the first Avengers came out.
Oh, okay. So it's mostly like a tease and, oh, this is connected to that one. That's about it. That's all we had so far.
What really got me thinking was that what was it? Oh, right. In Iron Man 2, the end credit scene, which I always skipped over because I didn't even know these movies had end credit scenes at the time. I always skipped over it until one day we just fast forwarded through the end just to skip through it, and then I saw some images. I'm like, wait, what is this? And it was Thor's hammer. at the end of Iron Man 2.
I see.
And then, like, at the end, we'll get to that movie eventually, but at the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, Red Skull gets zapped into space, and the space constellation, like, graphic texture or whatever, it looked exactly like Thor's, like, space.
You know, and honestly, I don't remember that.
Well, that was the thing that I noticed because
Like the
I have Asperger's.
Rainbow Road. Nope. Rainbow
Bridge.
Sorry, Mario Kart. Rainbow Road.
Okay, but let's talk about this movie.
Yes.
Um,
Which is Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk. We kind of took a bunch of different turns there.
yes.
Is it Edward Norton's? What's the director?
Yes, no, it's not Edward Norton.
Yeah, he's the main dude.
The reason he got...
It's Edward Norton's watch, The Incredible Hulk.
Well,
Did that watch actually tell the time, or was it just Heartbeat alone?
oh, the watch, okay.
Like,
I was
isn't
confused.
it's like pretty much its own character. at
No,
this point.
it's a heartbeat. It's a blood pressure monitor.
And it beeps only when it clears a certain threshold, and it matches the pulses as
And
it
it's exactly
approaches.
200 beats per minute.
Yes, 199, no Hulk, 200, unstoppable rampage.
Okay, I can kind of understand what they're going for there.
I mean,
It's
it's tangible.
like it's a decent story mechanic, just a visual thing, so he doesn't have to think, oh, I'm getting too stressed out. Oh no, he doesn't have to constantly say it.
You don't want to see me when
I'm hungry.
So we
Yeah,
both went
like
there.
that's not right. That was
He
good.
did say... Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Another reason why I thought this was Ang Lee's Hulk movie was because at the end of that movie, he ends up in, like, Mexico. No, not Mexico, because it was in the forest, and Mexico has no forest, jungles.
I don't know anything about the geography of Mexico.
Neither do I, but I'm
That's
guessing
pretty obvious.
I'm guessing it's all brown and deserty.
It's all dirt. That's it.
It all looks like Nevada. Anyway, at the end of that movie, it ends in a jungle in South America. And also, by the way, at the end of that movie, he says, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry," to the drug lords. I can't remember what specific reason. But it ends in South America. And this movie starts in South America. So it's it's not a sequel. It isn't.
And, I mean,
But
it is
it-
really tempting to sound like one, though.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Which,
I mean, the Hulk, you get the origin story, you get the jumping really far thing, you get the weird cloud thing going on.
I didn't watch the commentary recently, but one of the things I remember from the commentary,
Of this movie, The Incredible Hulk.
yes,
Okay.
is
I keep bringing that up throughout the time.
yeah, you'll never know. You'll never know.
Yeah, I'll never know which movie we're talking about. Go on. So in the commentary.
Yes, in the commentary, the director brings up the fact that, a few years before this, we had the Hulk movie. I can't remember what he said. See, it's impossible to tell the title. But, he said, this is we kind of want to bring in that crowd, the people who saw that movie. My point is, they did my point I'm trying to make is that they put the Hulk. This is very terrible of me. Okay.
Put the Hulk in a place that made it appear
South
the
America.
sequel.
Okay.
Yes.
South America. I keep trying to remember the country, and that's
In the movie, he's in Brazil, but
Yeah,
I don't know where the Hulk ends.
They put him in Brazil on purpose because that's where he ended in the other Hulk movie. They did that on purpose. Which is very weird.
Yeah. I mean, the soda thing.
The soda.
He's like,
Green soda, by the way.
Hey, have you ever had those,
The
Pellegrino? That's not right.
that Steven has.
They're actually pretty good. I haven't had this obviously Hulk-colored themed factory soda,
Yes.
but, you gotta diversify. You can't just have, A&W. But
they
he's
had-
like,
they-
I'm a PhD, so I know how to fix basic factory electronics. I mean,
Like, I thought he was some
he's
kind
like super smart.
Well,
so
I think, well, I'm not sure what he's actually classified in the Marvel Universe. If he's just a straight up scientist, I'm not sure what his PhDs are in.
I think they say that very specifically in Avengers, but I don't remember.
They might say it in Ultron, I forget. But, like, I could buy that he has some engineering background. He built his own centrifuge.
That's true. He did do a lot of science at his own blood stuff.
He also
Took
watched
that flour, squeezed its juice on his blood, and watched it turn green.
Green Hulk blood that broke the glass.
Well, it's it's Hulk. It's clobbering time.
It's flubber time.
Flubber! There it is! That's the thing. I couldn't remember this whole... I was watching the whole movie. I was like, what is that dumb thing? And the robot loved him.
Yeah.
The robot fell in love with Robin Williams. I forgot about that.
Well, the real thing is, who wouldn't fall in love with Robin Williams?
Very true.
Uh,
Flubber. When it was in his pants, and it leaned out the window, and it shot through his pocket, so he thought he could fall, but he couldn't.
We need to save that for another day.
I'm just saying. Hulk smash.
Yes, and the thing is, like, this movie isn't that notable. Like, it's not technically bad. It's technically a fine movie, you know? I don't mean to sound like I'm doing final thoughts, but it's kind of hard to talk about this movie.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it sets up the conditions fine for not a origin story. It says, hey, at this point I turned green and I hide in the shadows and I smash everything up and...
Yeah, at the beginning, there's this, if you haven't seen the movie, which is not impossible.
Very not impossible.
It had this sort of flashback quick cuts of like how he became the Hulk. He's sitting in front of some kind of gamma thing, and it shows some vague images of like the camera looking down at Betty Ross, and
which is
Erwin.
Is that her name in Lord of the Rings?
I can't remember. I've only seen
the daughter.
Instead of a god, you'd have a queen.
No, not her. You know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Hobbit movies?
No, the Lord of the Rings movies.
There's only one woman in the Lord of the Rings movie.
That's not true at all. And you referenced the first one. There's also
that was the one woman.
I am no man. That's another woman.
Okay,
then I assume Gimli is a female dwarf.
Gimli.
Yeah, dwarves still have beards. No, the third one is the daughter of Elrond?
I don't know.
Anyway,
yes!
I was like, hey, it's the girl from Armageddon.
Okay, whatever.
Don't want to close my eyes.
Forgive him.
I don't want to fall asleep.
He's a big fan of Michael Bay.
Miss you, baby.
Anyway.
And I don't want to miss a thing.
This is why people will not listen to us.
'Cause even when I cry, the sweetest dream will never do.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. That's
okay. And I can't remember what we were talking about.
I was saying the girlfriend.
Okay,
who was
yes.
Betty White. Nope.
Ross? This would be what a better movie this would have been if it was Betty White.
Oh man.
Bruce.
The whole time you were saying Betty White, I thought you were saying Betsy
I didn't say Betty White.
Ross. Like the American flag.
Oh, right. Okay.
Lady. I was like, I don't get it.
Not
We're
Betsy
like in
Ross.
modern day. I just don't understand. Anyway.
Oh.
So
we are getting
the
nowhere.
girl's name. You see her in the intro and whatever, and science happens.
Yeah, so it's a very the entire they did that because the entire Ang Lee Hulk film with the first hour and a half with that move with this half a minute of clips basically. And this movie is ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. It's just so forgettable for me.
And honestly, it's for a superhero movie. It was super by the numbers. I think
Yeah.
they kind of hit these similar beats. Villain comes in, we see the plot.
Maybe it's because there's no real.
They-
Maybe it's because there's no B story.
Well, I mean, the B story kind of is Abomination.
Yeah, kinda. I guess.
Kind of, but
But-
he starts out yucky. Is he just a yucky guy?
No, I think it's the.
What's that guy's name?
Eli Roth, Alan Rickman. No, another British person.
mean,
I
you could
looked this.
say any name and it would still be wrong. What's
All I know is that he's from Lie to Me.
Oh, there you go. So the Lie to Me guy is this super evil, demanding revenge man.
Tim
And
Roth.
Tim Roth, not Betsy Roth.
No.
But Tim Roth is like, I want revenge because he beat me up because he's insanely strong and he kicked me into a tree.
No, it's not even that. Well,
He wanted
yes.
to fight him before that. He wanted like, oh, I want him.
And that's the
Threw
thing.
a car thing, forklift like it was a ball.
Yeah, we're going all over the place, honestly.
Well, I'm just talking about the plot arc for Tim Roth and how his whole thing was like, I'm bent on revenge. The end.
yeah.
I have weird elbow spikes.
It's not even revenge. It's more like some kind of power fantasy that he's trying to get. You know, he wants to be the Hulk.
That's true. That's what it was.
Now, in theory, that could have been an interesting thing, wanting to control such power and such, but I'm not sure if this movie had those ambitions in the first
what
place.
if I could, instead of control it, what if I could aim it?
Is that
That's what he said in the helicopter.
Oh, right.
Like, there's no guidance of any kind. It's just like the power of love.
Tim Roth was
no,
saying
the
this?
Hulk said that.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Tim Roth character.
Well, yeah, he saw the power when he like picked up the weird metal doodads and he's like stabbing into the ground with it. He was like, "Oh, did you see Australia? It was so cool. He was strong and he kicked me into a tree." And I was like totally dead and cool. But
Like, that's the thing for me.
he already had been injected with the Hulk juice because he saw him one time.
I don't think it was the Hulk juice. I think it
It was
might-
a variant.
No.
of the Hulk juice.
I think. True that. It might have been some proto thing of like, oh, here's the information we had about the Hulk, and we had to. It's like the Dino DNA from Jurassic Park.
Dino DNA.
Like we have some of the parts. Now we just kind of guessed what the rest should be. You know, that's what this hit. But I thought that it was also some kind of proto super soldier serum, because they do name drop that. They don't name drop super soldier. They name drop super soldier, but not serum.
Yeah, it's just because I don't think they were willing to commit to the concept of the universe thing yet, so they couldn't bank on a future movie.
Oh, really? What about Bubbly Headman at the toward the
that's
end?
different. You can
Really?
set up.
Really?
You can always set up for a sequel that
And never
gonna
pay it
happen.
off.
Sinister Six. What? Okay.
Well, burn on them.
What? I mean, there are plenty of times when movies set up for sequels that never happened.
Name one.
I just did. But it happens a lot. Like the Incredible Hulk, when they drip green brain juice on bad guy's head, on Mr.
Yeah.
Blue's head,
Yeah, because like
who also has no story, and there's no
you're right.
motivation for that guy.
Yeah,
except he's
he was supposed. We can only guess because
he has good motivations.
I mean
How is he evil at all?
because I assume the blood was supposed to change his mind, maybe
He did
under
have head trauma. You know, you never know.
more like bone trauma. Because what happened?
It was like
No, it's like when you microwave a marshmallow.
yes,
That's
exactly
what
it
his
was.
head was doing.
and that makes you evil.
Yes.
Well,
he was the real Marshmallow Man.
standard movie trope. Ugly is evil.
Yes.
So, you know, I understand. And he did look weird.
Like,
That guy's got a very unique look.
okay, we're just kind of rambling at this point. You know,
Hey, there's not a ton of talk about the movie.
I know that's the thing. This movie is just—it's not focused enough, really.
And neither are we.
Yes,
Because of the movie.
we are the
We are the symptoms.
we cut this bit.
I was hoping we could say something in
Nope,
unison
nope,
really
we're dumb.
slowly
We're stupid.
and be like, and make a garbage sentence at the end.
Nope, we fail at that too.
We will work on those things.
We will work at being.
That's like an improv
We will work on being better idiots for you.
for you.
What are we talking about?
So, there's no second storyline. So the whole thing is him trying to find this cure. It doesn't work. Nobody cares. I now sort of can control it.
By nobody
The
cares,
end.
do you mean us or them?
Neither. Neither side cares.
No, both. Both sides don't care.
Mr. Blue, when he couldn't control him, he was like, "Oh, it's so cool!" ah." And then Abomination rolls in. And he's like, "You'll turn into Abomination." Patent pending.
Yes, because
So he didn't care. She didn't care because the power of love is too strong. And he's like, whatever.
now we haven't talked about your favorite nitpick of this movie: falling out of a plane.
Oh, it's a helicopter, I thought.
Helicopter. It is a helicopter.
Well, I do want to talk about it, but first, if I'm going to do some nitpicks, I'm going to say, why on earth is that general guy, like, always within, like, throwing distance of the Hulk? The Hulk is superhuman strong, and they can't shoot him with all sorts of crazy bullets and
no,
stuff.
he's borderline god level strength, as we see in Ragnarok.
Well, that's true, too, but I'm saying, like, in this movie, you see him get just pelted with endless bullets, and the general's like, I need to be seeing the action and making every single... I mean, I know
Okay,
it simplifies the villain thing,
That scene.
but...
That scene in the soda factory, the soda bottling factory.
Yeah.
They aren't shooting bullets. I'm fairly certain they are tranq darts.
Yeah, in that part, but later when they're on the college campus, they're shooting regular bullets, and then they say, get the 50 caliber out. So they bring out a turret-style gun thing.
Yeah,
that's
but then-
shooting automatic rounds of 50 caliber, which are insanely large, and it's just like, doing nothing. to
Yeah, I
the
never
guy.
knew what a 50 caliber. How big is it?
Oh, it's freaking huge.
Arm?
No, not arm.
I don't know.
Like this, but it blows holes like monstrously large in a regular, like you just blow through animal, like you could never shoot or hunt an animal with it. It would just blow holes through them. It's not really,
A hunting. It's more of a cut in half.
yeah, it's not a reasonable, like, for the Hulk to be immune to that thing, you would never even want to be close to the guy. You're like, oh, we'll look at him, and, you know, he's a property of the army, and...
I will say this: I did like that scene.
So-
I did like that action scene.
It was a great scene, like the tree and the like going over the top and ruining the girl, and they get away. That whole thing was really cool and totally fine. That was
Another-
one of the highlights of the movie.
Another thing about that scene is that they bring in these sound cannon things, these Jeep cannons, like that have like some kind of.
No hype in the show for it, except for in the very beginning opening scene where you see like a schematic of it or something.
Yes,
That's it.
Yes, it is, but also it's a invention by Stark Industries.
It's a fun tie-in.
Yep, and I do like that. I like how.
Well, you start out small because this is movie number 2 in the same year,
Yes, actually,
and it's already a
in the
stretch.
in the stretch of like a month or two, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that explains the mild different facial hair design of Tony Stark at the end. But, okay, so that's one nitpick, is the general thing.
Yes.
The other nitpick is the main one, which is the helicopter, falling out of the helicopter, right? The whole gag was like, oh no, I can't turn into the Hulk. Oh, just kidding, I'm Hulk, I'm alive.
Now,
I'm okay with it if he had given some hint of turning Hulk as he was hitting the ground, because you don't just hit... I mean...
Now-
it was more fun to come out of the hole as the Hulk than to transform midway and
now, I have
blah
a.
blah blah.
Now,
It
I've
was
told-
just cheese.
I'll tell you that I've already told you this, but I'll say it again. I have a theory that the Hulk will not let him die.
Oh yeah.
Like
Wasn't there a cutscene or a
there was
not
an
a cut scene?
there was
but
an
like
alternate
a,
opening where, and they even sort of mentioned this in the Avengers, the movie.
Oh, the first one.
Yes,
Oh, like he couldn't.
like he.
Even
In that
if he
movie,
wanted to
he
or
said he
something?
tried to put a bullet in his mouth, and the other guy spat it out. That's what he says in the Avengers movie. Oh, excuse me. And because of that, there is this opening this alternate opening that wasn't actually in the movie, that has him go into somewhere, and I assume, you know what? It's probably somewhere near Canada, near New Maine,
Newfoundland.
New Maine.
Newfoundland?
No, New Maine.
Not New Maine? Old
Because we know in, you know what, that doesn't count, the deleted scene. My point is, I'm so terrible today.
So there was an alternate opening that had that scene in it.
Yes, it had a gun.
I mean, who wants to start a movie with a suicide?
He was going to shoot himself, but even before he could, like, load the gun, actually, no, he did load the gun. But before he even had a chance to turn it to his mouth, the Hulk just starts happening. He starts turning into the Hulk. Like, he's holding the gun flat in his open palm hand, and the Hulk just turns into him.
He's very anti-guns.
And crushes it. Yes, very
The
anti-gun.
Hulk is anti-gun. That's what I heard.
Because he doesn't
He
need
doesn't
them.
want to be gunned. It's true.
What would a Hulk-sized gun look like?
Like a
Cartoon.
Like a big old
One of
Tex
those.
Avery style 6-shooter.
One of those Yosemite Sam guns.
Yeah, what I just said. Tex Avery. Yosemite Sam. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, overall, this, like,
it's
in,
okay.
in our previous,
it's okay though.
in our review of Iron Man, I felt like we tried going through the plot normal, but this, we're just jumping around everywhere. And
Well, the movie did the same thing. It was just like Hulk, 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 try to find a cure.
Yes.
Hulk, Hulk, run away. Hulk, Hulk, watch my heart. Hulk, Hulk, Hulk.
like, my point is, saying that, it's like, this, if you watch this movie, fine. You can say you watched it, and you can say you've seen all of the Marvel movies.
That's
Like-
that's legitimately the reason I watched the movie.
Yes, we are doing this for the road to Endgame. That was not natural of me saying that.
It's okay. We'll move on.
Yeah, because... There's nothing to say about this. This whole thing feels so disjointed talking about, because this movie, if we're being serious, isn't that good, technically. Like, it has positive elements to it, but I'm not necessarily going to recommend it.
I do have to say I really, really enjoyed the cameo.
Of which cameo?
Nothing against Stan Lee and the poison soda cameo, but it's really
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno and the Incredible Hulk coming in.
You know,
and he was super jacked. Like, I know he's old at this point, but he was more ripped in that scene than he was in old days.
Than he was in King of Queens.
I know you talked about that. Something we haven't talked about, but I spent way too much time talking about during the movie, is in Naruto. Okay,
Where was this going?
is the Hulk versus Gaara thing.
Right.
So, like, what is the deal with the Hulk at this point in the universe, right? So, it's in his blood, and it turns green, and it grows and smashes stuff, right? So, it seems like it's a force, but later on, it turns into, like, its own personality, right?
Yes.
So,
Now-
like, right now, it's kind of like Gaara's Sand in Naruto. So, Gaara's Sand in Naruto is like this protective force that always goes around him and it will not allow him to be harmed at all. So a knife to his own hand, the sand will block it and stop it.
Okay. One, I'm not sure the crossover between fans of Naruto and the fans of the MCU
Well,
are.
that's why I just brought it up.
You're right.
Saying.
But yeah, that's what you said about, like, the personality versus the beast necessarily.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like, for the most part, like, the Hulk only exists when he is the Hulk. You know?
That's an interesting concept.
You know? So maybe all he's seen are the things that he's like, oh, he only brings me out to fight. You know? But but in the beginning, he only emerges because of stressful situations. It's kind of
Well, until Avengers.
yes, in, like, Hulk, I don't know about, like, the comics, but Because the comics is a whole different thing.
And then honestly, I haven't read any Hulk.
I haven't either, but I watch Comics Explained, and he gets me informed. Cause they're
And what did he talk about the Hulk?
well,
Is this the second time in 2 things we've talked about?
yes, because if you don't know about comics and you want to know, listen to him. He's good.
I've listened to a ton of his stuff. He's great.
Yeah. My point is, in the comics, one, there are several different entities of the Hulk. Like, this is not their order in appearance, but in the beginning, there are, one of them is called Claw.
Claw.
The Hulk's Hulk, essentially. Which,
So wait, the Hulk can go Hulk, and that's Claw.
yes.
Well, I'm very curious.
Which
about
is Hulk backwards.
that.
And
Makes so much sense, but
and there's also the Professor, which is just like
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk or the Professor.
Oh, it's
just,
like, isn't that a fusion thing?
it's just it's just basically a conscious Hulk. You know, he can talk. He can actually articulate words.
Can't he talk? He can talk in this one. He said, "Go away," in the very beginning of this one, and he talks in Avengers
When
when he says.
he doesn't say Hulk smash.
He said that in this one.
Yes, but he doesn't.
Which was hilarious. That was just like
Out of
so
place?
out of place. Well, the Hulk was like just a force of like pure
Also, Tim Roth,
energy.
freaking Abomination. He can speak off the bat. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
and he has. I mean,
this movie's a
he's
mess.
an abomination.
You're
so-
right. So
a
naturally,
weird freak.
naturally, he can speak better than the Hulk.
Exactly. But and he has removable elbow spikes.
Yeah, which pretty brutal.
That was like one of the craziest
The Hulk
things.
rips out. I want to. You think it was his elbow spike? I think it was one of his spines.
No way! It was like green, and he like ripped it away, and then it stabbed it into his chest. So
Yeah, like he stabs it into him, which is like pretty, for this movie, it's fairly standard. But like that combined with the Hulk friggin'
just choking him.
not choking him. I was thinking more of like when he kicks Tim
Oh, when he
Roth
kicks him
into
the
the
first time.
tree.
Oh,
It's like the
man.
most like you see his foot make contact with him. He doesn't kick him. It's more like a standing kick. Like
Yeah, he just like boots him.
yeah,
Like just like shoves his foot into
it's like
him.
in action movies when you see someone kick open a door.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
that's a strong kick as is.
yes.
And then
Then you got the Hulk doing it, and he like friggin' tumbleweeds like into a tree, face into tree.
yes.
So that was pretty. Those were some pretty cool things.
He didn't have Hulk
But Hulk
juice in
also
him.
looked. They fixed this in later things, but he looked way too veiny, kind of.
I kind of liked the muscles.
Like, he
it
was-
was much more real feeling and less cartoony, and
More-
that's a trend
More
of the superhero
less
movies.
baby fat than Hulk. You know, he kind of modern Hulk kind of had this baby fat about him. You know, like he
I-
looks softer.
That's true. He does. I think this one looked extremely sinewy.
Looks
very like
very ripped.
super ripped. Like his muscles are just
like
you
you
can
can-
see every fiber.
Yeah, you could see every muscle like that was there.
Yeah. Interesting choice when they don't have the CGI. I guess they didn't want to. I think they were trying to go, more realistic.
Now,
Because in the old days they had a guy green,
Yeah.
and now they have the CGI ability. So
like, whenever this movie, I was praising the fight scene at the school or whatever it was, the college,
Yeah.
where he does kick
it
Tim
was
Roth.
the highlight of the movie.
That's the thing about me. I really like daytime action scenes because,
They're rare.
I mean,
They almost always hide them because it's easier to do that.
yeah, like in the darkness, you can hide certain flaws in CGI. You know,
Especially CGI.
like some of my I can't wait till we get to Winter Soldier.
It's gonna be awesome.
You have no idea.
But yeah, so that scene is really great. The final fight is pretty cool in that they're both really strong. you don't really see any evidence of their power together, like clashing. It's more like
Yeah, you can
we're both dumb
like
idiots.
you don't really see forces of nature here because in the comics,
He does say any last words, General, and then Hulk
any
smash.
last words, General?
And then he's Hulk smash. Oh, I fell in a hole. Oh, I'm being choked. The end. You're
Yeah,
like,
which also he doesn't die.
yeah, which is really weird. Why didn't he kill him? The girlfriend was like, "No, don't kill the evil monster who tried to murder me a few seconds ago."
I think you
Because-
just answered your own question, Ben.
Why would you not kill the monster? It's a weird monster thing, and they don't remember that it's that dude. They have no idea it's that dude.
Are you sure?
No.
Of course.
I mean, he probably deduced said thing. I don't remember.
No one knows. Wait, no, because they said like,
He must have taken this. Must be here.
no. Like the people on the the army people on the ground trying to find the serum with the lab of the guy.
Mr. Blue.
Yeah, Mr. Blue.
The Marshmallow Brain.
Yes, he, like, we find that the Abomination there, and they think like the Hulk's down here. It's like, what are you talking about, soldier? So, and I think that might have been something, but honestly, this whole movie is running off of like, we barely remember like certain details, and or maybe they weren't even there. This movie is just an obligation.
It's true. I mean,
Like-
I think this movie is the second piece of evidence that Hulk has a hard time making a movie because his character
Like-
is such that, like, by design he's invincible but also uncontrollable. But in this movie,
A Jekyll and Hyde thing.
yeah, it's a classic Jekyll and Hyde, except
This is
Hyde isn't as
this
bad.
is no. This is more of a werewolf situation.
Is it?
I think.
I don't know. I think I want to do research about the character himself to be more happy with my review in total, but I just don't feel like
Well, I
the
will say,
character of the Hulk is designed to be a starring role. I mean, Dr.
Yeah, like-
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is boring. No offense.
The
to
studio-
people, to like the 4 people in the world.
The thing is,
who
Mark-
love the musical or whatever.
I
I'm
do.
just saying.
Have you heard that song?
Which one?
What's it called? Anyway, I
Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll.
no.
Hyde,
The song.
It's from Arthur,
Really? Wow. Which Arthur?
the cartoon
Oh, not that weird. Never mind.
with an aardvark.
No, I'm not. Never mind. Anyway, final thoughts. Should we?
Yeah. I think it wasn't as bad as I remember, but it was very forgettable.
Oh, we would be remiss to say one of the dads from Modern Family is in this movie.
Oh yeah, he's the boyfriend that nobody cared about.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. You know, he's dating a girl. She runs off and cheats on him with an ex who happened to be a superhero.
I think they said that he either abandoned her or he had died. I can't
the
remember
guy
which.
just dies.
No, not Modern Family Dad.
Oh.
I think the general.
Oh, and they didn't
they
tell her.
they. I'm not sure. I can't.
But still, you're still dating a dude. You don't just say, "Hey, dude, I think we need to be on a break," or "Hey, I'm just gonna go and run."
Like,
off.
hey,
and
my old
totally
boyfriend,
cheat. Well,
that I thought was dead.
I mean, I
he-
guess they didn't do anything because of the watch stopped them, right?
yeah,
That
they
was
can't.
the joke.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Like-
They couldn't do the do. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't.
PG-13. Yeah, I think overall it wasn't as bad as Hulk.
If you haven't
But
seen it,
it's not as it's no Thor Ragnarok.
no.
I mean, as far as the Hulk movie, I mean, the best hope at a Hulk movie is Planet Hulk, and
Well, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, but World War Hulk 1, what very little I know about it, you need to bring Betty Ross back into the movies.
that wouldn't be that hard.
Really?
You just pick anybody at this point. I mean, you had the Hulk made 3 jumps in 3 movies, and everyone's like, yeah, that's cool, okay. So I don't see why you can't bring in the love interest as a different person. No one's gonna be like, oh, where's
You know what? You're right. No one's gonna remember Betty Ross. Everyone forgets about Betty Ross.
Where's the girl from Armageddon? I remember her being in this.
My po-
She has a name in Lord of the Rings, but it's not important right now because nobody can think of it.
Yeah.
She's the
But
love
yeah.
interest of Aragorn.
At,
And no elf who chooses
so-
to live like a human.
Yeah, I'd only recommend this movie if you haven't seen it, because it's like, it's not a terrible time.
No. I'm going to disagree. I think don't watch this movie unless you're trying to say you've watched every single one.
Like,
I don't think it's worth the time. I mean, if you're going to pick
when I say
some skips.
when I'm saying I recommend this movie, I mean it's not.
This is...
It's a fairly standard by the books action movie, superhero movie. Like,
You're going to be on your phone when you watch this movie.
yes, you were on your DS the entire time.
It's a 3DS, and...
Oh,
You're right.
tomato to potato.
Potato. You say potato.
I say tomato.
Tomato.
Yes. So, yeah. So, I give this... By the way, I give this film... I don't know.
Here, let me give one first. I give this film 3 marshmallow brains out of 5. I think it's just fine, but I wouldn't recommend it any particular. Even if, like, let's rewatch The Incredible Hulk. But
Well, then...
never gonna happen.
Well, I give this 5 purple stretchy pants out of 10.
And what was the deal with, like, the joke references? Like, they're only for us and for the old Incredible Hulk show, right? When he has the purple pants, they're like, it's the only size.
And he compares it to a fat kid. He, like, puts it right up
It's a
against...
fat woman.
Fat woman?
Yeah,
I
and he
didn't
was
know.
like, Stretchio. That's not what he said, obviously, but... he was
Stretchy
like,
go, ying yang ya.
that is...
Hi-ya-ya.
Wasn't he in Guatemala at that point, so he was speaking in Spanish?
I
But-
think it might have been Guatemala.
Anyway, does
but
not
yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
And how did the Hulk get from freaking Brazil
This-
to Guatemala?
I think we already established this. He jumped.
Yup. One jump. Only once.
Yes.
Yeah. Guatemala. Anyway.
So, that's about it. Sorry if this was fairly... I've said it once, I'll say it again. I'm sorry if this was fairly disjointed.
Well, we're just a product of the movie.
Yeah, it's also kind of getting late at this point. We're all tired.
That's what it is. What's so the next movie in the series,
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, came out before Thor?
Yeah.
Wow, I am off
I
kilter.
said in this very podcast that
I know you
that
said
at the
that.
end credit scene is Thor's hammer.
Well, I knew that, but it just... I don't know.
So,
You could do that at any point. Anyway, let's watch it.
well, we're off to watch a movie. Goodbye, good day, and good luck on the road to Endgame.